Welcome, and thank you for watching this video tutorial on essential documentation. This training will cover 3 pieces of essential documentation: the Social Security card, the Employment Authorization Document, or EAD, and the State ID. Social Security card. What is a Social Security card? A Social Security number, or SSN, is a unique identification number issued by the U.S. government. This number is required to work long-term in the U.S. and to claim government benefits. This number is printed on a small paper card known as a Social Security card. To learn about who can request a Social Security number and how to apply online, visit ssa.gov/number-card. You can also apply for a Social Security number at your local Social Security Administration office. You can locate a local office by visiting secure.ssa.gov/icon. Please note that if you apply online, you will need to go in person to a local Social Security office to provide valid documentation within 45 days of applying. Social Security will ask for a current Department of Homeland Security, or DHS, document. Acceptable DHS documents include I-94 Arrival and Departure Record, I-551 Permanent Resident Card, I-766 Employment Authorization Document or Work Permit. Once your application is approved, you should receive a Social Security card with your number by mail within 14 days. Once received, keep your card in a safe place. Please note, for refugees resettled through the U.S. Refugee Admissions Program and Welcome Corps, applications for a Social Security number are submitted overseas before arriving in the U.S. The Social Security card should arrive after the refugee arrives to the U.S. Here are useful links to the website of the Social Security Administration for more relevant information. Employment Authorization Document. What is an Employment Authorization Document? An Employment Authorization Document, or EAD, shows that a person has the right to work in the United States. The EAD is a small card, like the Social Security card, that includes information like a person's name, photo, and birth date. This card can serve as a photo ID for newcomers. The card also has an expiration date. For refugees, the EAD is valid for 2 years. After 2 years, most refugees will have applied for and received a green card and will no longer need an EAD. Non-citizens whose immigration status authorizes them to work in the United States may use Form I-765 to apply for an EAD. For more information about I-765 application for employment authorization, visit uscis.gov/I-765. Refugees resettled through the U.S. Refugee Admissions Program do not need to apply for an EAD. They will have an EAD application completed for them overseas through an I-765 form before they depart for the U.S. This application will be part of the refugee travel packet that is taken at the port of entry when they arrive. A notice of receipt for the EAD should arrive via mail within 3 weeks of domestic arrival. Expect delays in both EAD receipt notice and EAD card delivery. Delays could be up to 3 months or longer. Although a Social Security card and EAD are necessary for long-term work in the U.S., newcomers with refugee status are eligible to begin work immediately after arrival. They do not need to wait for a Social Security number or employment authorization document to begin working. Instead of showing these documents to a potential employer, refugee newcomers can provide their I-94 parole document as proof of employment for 90 days. If an application requires a Social Security number, the applicant can write in 000-00-0000. After 90 days, the newcomer will need to provide either a Social Security card or an employment authorization document to the employer. If the EAD card is delayed, check the EAD status at egov.uscis.gov. You will need the receipt number that can be found on the I-76 receipt notice. If the EAD receipt notice is delayed, submit an inquiry with USCIS to check the status of the EAD at uscis.gov. and search for non-delivery of receipt on the website. Newcomers can also check the status of their EAD through their MyUSCIS account. If a Social Security card does not arrive within 10 days of the refugee's arrival, visit your local Social Security office to confirm that there is a record of the card being filed. If not, reapply. To find your nearest office, visit secure.ssa.gov/icon. When visiting the local Social Security office, make sure to bring documentation of work authorized immigration status, foreign passport, and original travel letter with stamp. Acceptable immigration documents include the I-94 Arrival Departure Record, which can be printed from the website and accepted as an original document, the I-551 Permanent Resident Card, or the I-766 Employment Authorization Document or Work Permit. State ID. A state ID is a small card issued by the specific state where a newcomer has arrived. This card contains identifying information about a person, including their picture. Because refugee newcomers may have to wait longer to receive their EAD, they may need a photo ID that can be issued more quickly. A state ID can serve both as photo identification and proof of residency in a particular state. This card is not a driver's license. The process of getting a state ID will vary by state. However, generally, these cards are issued by appointment at the local Department of Motor Vehicles, or DMV. Some states require an application filled out before the appointment, while others take walk-in appointments. States may require different documents, such as the I-94 parole form, proof of state residency like a lease or utility bill, or a social security number, in order to issue a state ID. Contact your local DMV office or check your state's DMV website for information about how to prepare. The cost of these cards is generally between $10 and $50 depending on the state. After the appointment, newcomers can expect to receive their state ID within a few weeks. Considerations. A note to sponsors. Sponsor groups are expected to assist with obtaining these essential documents, including providing transportation to appointments or helping fill out an application. However, remember that the job of a sponsor is to help and teach the newcomer how to navigate this process, not to just do it for them. Both the Social Security Office and the DMV have access to free interpretation services, usually over the phone, to be used for any meetings with newcomers who are not fluent in English. This will support the newcomer to have agency as a participant in the process and to ask questions as needed. Be sure to contact the relevant office ahead of the appointment time to verify the procedure for securing an interpreter. Visit refugeewelcome.org for more community sponsorship resources.